research on Chandler, Arizona. Everyone tells you it's so great. And you know what? It is great because I call Chandler home for myself and my family, and even my children's families have decided Chandler. But it's not perfect. And I'm going to tell you what's not perfect about it right after this. So glad you're doing your research. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's like really to live in Chandler, Arizona. It's not perfect. All those other YouTubers just tell you how great it is, but they probably don't live here and they don't even know what it's really like. And let me tell you, everything you see online on the internet is years behind. So what is it really like to live, work, and play here? Well, not only have I chosen to live in Chandler, and I have lived here for several decades, but my children as adults and their families have also chosen Chandler. So the question is why? All right, so the first thing, what's the real driving force of Chandler? And that is the economy and the jobs. That is the driving force here in Chandler. I'll tell you, when I first moved here, it was a stop sign off of the main freeway, and it was just a 2-lane road. Chandler was nothing but cotton fields, ostrich farms. There was no shopping mall, but there was Intel, and there was just one location. And now there are 6 locations, and oh my God, the new fab is unbelievable. I can't even tell you. It's just outrageous, and they're still growing exponentially. And for everything that Intel does, all the other hundreds of thousands of jobs are in the Chandler area. So I have to tell you, the pro is this. There is definitely a fantastic economy. There's job growth. There's job opportunities here. But if you live in the Chandler area, this hasn't been a good thing because they're being priced out of the area. So that is really unfortunate. And I have to tell you, for first-time home buyers, Chandler is pretty outpriced for you. And that is one of the biggest cons. And we'll come back to the housing a little bit more in detail. I want to talk more about just what it's like to live here. Let me tell you, that security, that financial security, it goes a long way. And if you are able to afford to live in the Chandler area, and you're raising your family here, one of the biggest comforts and the best feeling as a parent is to provide great education and structure for your child to become everything that they can become. And that is, again, why Chandler is one of the top places to live in the entire greater Phoenix area. We're talking A+ schools all over between Kyrene School District and Chandler Unified. Now, am I saying all of them are? No. Here's a website you're going to want to go to, greatschools.org. And if you go on there, you can take a look and see what the ratings are. Now, one of the things I always say is pick those ratings apart. You're going to find a lot of 7, 8, 9, 10 rated schools, but find out what that means. And here is one of the reasons, again, that Chandler is fantastic is because of the programs that they offer at these schools. So one of the things that they rate is some of the programs that they offer and how diverse. They also look at what the diversity of the population or the demographics of the students are. And if you are looking for that really diverse programs, if your child's in IEP or you need some additional type of tutoring or programs for your child, Chandler is probably going to be at the very top of your list. There is so many amazing programs, and they're relatively easy to get into. You just got to reach out to the school administration and just do a little bit of legwork before you actually move to the greater Phoenix area. If you're looking for some of those things that you need to do, all you need to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We will get you the information you're looking for. It's so much more. When you're relocating, it's not just buying a house. It is a whole new life, a whole new lifestyle. It's where do you go? Where do you get the information? Well, I want to be your source for resources. So give us a call. We'll get you all kinds of information. And even if I don't have the answers, I'm going to get it for you. The next thing I absolutely love about Chandler, believe it or not, is the proximity and the freeway access. When you zoom out and you look at the entire greater Phoenix area, it kind of looks like Chandler's tucked in a little corner. And I have have to tell you, it's not. If you look at our amazing freeway system, I love how we have loop over loop over loop. And if you live in Chandler, you have a multitude of different directions you can go, north, south, east, or west freeways. And in some cases, you have multiple freeways to choose from. So being in real estate, that's right, I'm a realtor, folks. And if I need to go anywhere in the greater Phoenix area, it's literally 45 minutes to an hour, and I can catch a bunch of different freeways going different directions. Chandler is very central. I love the proximity in the Southeast Valley. I love that I can get to the mountains. I also love that I can get to several different downtown districts. Of course, I have downtown Chandler, which is my ultimate favorite, which, by the way, is the single one destination with the most live music venues. I don't know if I said that right, but if you're a live music fan, Chandler is the perfect place to call home. Gilbert is also, depending on where you live in Chandler, a hop and a skip. So you have downtown Chandler, you have downtown Gilbert, you also have downtown Tempe, and there's a second part of Tempe that's actually called Tempe Marketplace. So if you are looking for all kinds of shopping and entertainment and activities. That's one thing I do love about Chandler Fashion Square is as the old malls kind of dissipate, right? Because the new thing is the outdoor mall, which is in Gilbert, not too far from Chandler. But instead of Chandler, they're so innovative. Instead of it just becoming a dead, ugly mall, they decided to really focus on children entertainment. And what they have over in the Chandler Mall, and it's right by my house. I love it. Not only do I have all the regular things like movie theaters, and I have like some of the outdoor in the summertime, they have live music on Friday and Saturday night. They have the outdoor splash pad. They have the big, chess and checker thingy that the kids can play. They have Crayola Experience, and Shields is opening up this year that's going to have an indoor Ferris wheel. They took an old Nordstrom's. And again, like the rest of the country should watch to see what Chandler's doing. They are making it just a massive children mecca. That is one thing I really have to say about Chandler too. Their focus is truly on the younger generation. It's about the children, and it is about creating an environment and a culture and a community focused on our children. And so you're seeing a lot of that technology dollars going to the schools here. And again, that's why you have a lot more programs. I mean, everything from STEM and robotics and music and arts. I just love everything about Chandler and what it has to offer children. So back to my entertainment and the freeway access, I'm telling you, it just has absolutely everything. And downtown Chandler has a farmers market. They also do all kinds of outdoor events, and they do concerts. They have a huge ostrich festival, believe it or not, a taco festival. They have a beer festival. They have a barbecue festival. There's a lot of festivals. They love doing festivals. I call it festival season, and it starts in September with Taco Festival. And I think the last one is in maybe April, and that's going to be the Jazz Festival. But there's literally over a dozen just in the city of Chandler. And I haven't even talked about Mill Avenue in Tempe, which is just a hop and a skip. Here's the thing, guys. When you live in a city, it's not that little, by the way, it's 250,000 people. But when you live in a city, you don't just have to live in the city. Like, what's in the close proximity? So for me and everyone here, we all live in this thing, imaginary bubble. So yes, we have our go-tos, and where I live, within 10 minutes, I have a shopping mall. I have a Costco. I have a Sam's Club. I have Whole Foods. I have Sprouts. I have multiple gyms. I have freeways. I have mountains. I have water. I have golf. I have libraries. I have community centers. I'm telling you, Chandler is the win-win. And if you love Asian cooking, if you love Indian cooking, if you love Chinese cooking, that's already covered under Asian. If you are looking for any kind of Asian or Indian shopping, I'm telling you, we're in the Mecca here. Like, it is unbelievable. All the different stores and the restaurants, and I'm a boba girl. Let me tell you, there's a choice in every direction. So if you are looking for that very diverse eating, this is it too. Now, let's get to the bad stuff, because it's not all perfect. This is the number one thing that I get. People that call me and they want Chandler for all the reasons I just mentioned. Then they look online and they start looking at the houses, and they are like, they don't like what they can get for their dollar. And this is the negative. The majority of Chandler was built in the 80s and the 90s. By 2000, they were going out further. And so you'll get newer homes in Gilbert. And then, of course, it just goes a little further, even newer homes in Queen Creek, and even newer. So the further you go out, you're getting the more modern conveniences. And if you want to live in Chandler to take advantage of everything Chandler has to offer, you are talking some older homes, smaller homes, outdated homes. And let me tell you, in the 80s and 90s, they built homes completely different. Like we even saw a different generational thing, like in the 80s were kind of that ranch style, right? Single level with a pitched roof and a lot of small bedrooms, like different levels. That was another thing. Formal living dining room. Remember in the kitchens when the cabinets kind of came down? So you'd be talking to people and you'd be like, trying to like talk underneath it. That was like all the 80s. Then the 90s was kind of like the pink and the oak cabinets. And that's when they started building tile roofs and the ACs were on the side of the house instead of on the roof. But we were still getting that separate living space. We had the formal living room, dining room that you never used, and then a family room and a small kitchen and the little 10 by 10 tiles. I could tell you all day long about the ugly stuff from the 90s. And unfortunately, that's what we have a lot in Chandler. It doesn't show well. And the yards, they don't show well either. So again, you're talking properties that have pools that are 20 to 25 years old. They need to be redone. They're round when the new style is square. They have pool deck when the new style is pavers. I could just go on and on. So I have to tell you, Chandler does not show well. If you go to the the southeast part of Chandler, that's going to be the newest part of Chandler. And so you're going to find some of the pretty homes, the new style homes. But now you don't get a lot of the amenities that I just said that put Chandler way up there. You're not close to the freeway. You're not close to the malls. Even though you're close to the Indian reservation, there's not mountains on that direction. And then here's the next part of it. The master plan communities in Gilbert and Queen Creek are way nicer. I don't want to say there aren't nice ones in Chandler, but again, here's the difference. Again, it was a different style of living. So in the 90s, the master plan communities here, that we had a lot of lake communities. And although it's very aesthetic and it's beautiful, how much do you actually get to enjoy the lake? Versus, again, master plan communities in Gilbert and Queen Creek and even Mesa that have these amazing community centers and community pools and parks and playgrounds and clubhouses and trails and skate parks. Yeah, none of that in Chandler. Now, we do have a lot of parks in the city of Chandler that are run by City of Chandler Parks and Recreation Center. So you have it within close proximity, but they're not in the communities. So I'll tell you, here this video is about living in Chandler. And I have to tell you, living in Chandler there's nothing better, to be honest with you. There is just absolutely nothing better. I think so. But the housing is not my favorite. Here's the thing. There's no such thing as an absolutely perfect place. You're going to give something in order to get something. And so you have to kind of weigh out those pros and cons. If you are thinking about moving to Chandler, give me a call. Let's talk. Let's go online. I'll show you exactly where it is. Oh, and here's the other thing. With the large, population of people that have now moved into Chandler, I have to say the crime rate it's not moving in a positive trend. It's just not as safe as some of the neighboring cities. But again, they are changing too. The neighboring cities are also changing as they become more populous. So I would love to have a conversation with you about Chandler or a neighboring city, or even comparing it from the Southeast Valley to the Northwest Valley. I'm telling you, this is your girl to go to. I want to be your source for resources. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Days, nights, or weekends, I got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Whether it's your first time home, a move-up home, empty nester home, retirement home, this would be your girl, relocation specialist. Can't wait to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye.